G'day guys, welcome to another layout, welcome back to my channel, all the fun stuff. If you're new to my channel, hi, I'm Karen. I create scrapbook layouts off the top of my head. I don't use sketches or anything, and I just love playing and bringing you different sort of content that hopefully gets you thinking a little bit differently when it comes to scrapbooking, especially if you're in a crafty funk. Now, today I am going to town. These are some paint. This is my paint drawer. I've got stacks of different paints and whatnot, gouaches, etc. And some acrylic, the MONT metallic acrylics. They are so stunning, so gorgeous. Now I am doing something that I recently saw somebody else do. I'm trying to think who it was. Off the top of my head, I cannot remember, but they used their jelly mat. You know, normally I just use a piece of packaging and put my paint on it, and then when I'm finished I put it in the bin. Well, I saw someone using their jelly what's it called, jelly plate, and I thought, you know what, that is genius. That is actually super smart, because then I'm not using packaging, it's not plastic, it's not more waste, it's literally, I can use it and then I can pull a print from it. And you can see me here adding, and it's getting grungy, and I love when I do a jelly plate print, I like to get it all grungy like it is now, and it's so much fun. Am I using the jelly plate print on this layout? No, I'm not. I am just going to town and I'm having fun with all the paint and mixed media-y goodness. Did you see that? It literally flew out at me. For some reason, that particular paint is a lot runnier than all the others. I started off using my fingers. These are acrylic paints, so they will, when they dry, they are permanent. They don't come off. So you're able to then put more stuff on top of them and build them up. And basically I'm just making a really cool mixed media layout with lots of acrylic paint and, you know, building up the layers. Now, I did hear quite a while ago, Dina Wakely, who is an amazingly talented human being, I did hear her say that you can't fake layers. Now, she quoted somebody else, but I'm going to quote her because I don't know who she said. And honestly, I watched that video probably 2 or 3 years ago. So I think it was during the height of the old spicy cough. So I just want to say, when you're creating a mixed media layout, oh, by the way, this stencil is from Scrapbook Fantasies, and they are fantastic. These stencils are bang on the money. I like them. I love them. They're flexible, but they're thin enough that you get a nice crisp line. Some stencils that I've got in the past, some of them have been a bit too thick, and you don't get a nice crisp sort of look to them. These ones are thick enough but thin enough. Does that make sense? Now, I'm just doing some squiggly writing. You're not supposed to be able to read what I'm writing. It's just mark making. There is a term for this, but I don't know what it's called off the top of my head. There is, when you go ahead and you do squiggly writing on your background, but it's illegible. So it's not something that you can go back and read. It's also another way of putting your feelings onto your paper, but people aren't able to actually read what you're saying. So you might be writing that you're low, that you're depressed, that you're sad. These colors make me happy. It's raining outside. It's, you know, all the feelings, all the things. You can put it onto your layout and blend it into the background, and only you will know it's there, because basically what you do is you write your word, but you scrunch it up really small, like really tight together, and you over accentuate your ascending and descending letters. So if you do that, then you know what you're writing. What I actually wrote that with is, I've got these little tiny bottles with the tips. They're the ones that I put on my art glitter glue. They're universal. Actually, I'll see what it says on the packet. I've got another packet sitting right here. Universal Crafts Ultra Fine Tip Glue Applicator. And it comes with a pin in it, and they're really good. You can just put paint in them, and then you can write with them. You can do all sorts of things with them, and it helps you to build your layers. Now, these circles you see me with right now, they are leftovers from, I feel like I wrecked my layout when I did that, but anyway, keep going. Trust the process, guys. Trust the process. This is where you have to just believe in yourself and take 2 more steps, because the difference between a great layout and an okay layout is just 2 more steps. Just take a couple more and see what happens. You might hate it, you might want to scratch it and start again, but at the end of the day, it's all about having fun. And I know not everyone likes all the mixed media mess, but if you have a look around my workspace there's not a lot of mess. I'm keeping all the paint either on my gel plate or it's on my layout. So there's not a lot of mess with this, and cleanup is super easy. I will be honest, I am hopeless at cleaning my stencils. So in future, you will see these stencils being used. This is also, all these stencils and stamps are all from Scrapbook Fantasies, guys. So you can grab them. They've got stacks of them, and they make them themselves. Alicia Redshaw, and I believe Naomi John might make some as well. That's their daughter. And these stamps, they are so good. They are not a soft foam. They're a really high density hard foam, and I just went in there and just stamped and created some grunge and some funk, and I just loved how it turned out. It just turned out really good. And the stamping I did originally, the thing is, when you're doing a layout like this, okay, and you're doing a mixed media background, it's very art journaly, mixed media journal style. And I used to do this all the time in my art journals, but I just felt like bringing it over into my scrapbooking world. I was feeling all mixed media-y, if that makes sense. I'm using everything from these little foam pieces that I have, to my makeup wedges, to some Sharpie pen. I have literally gone in with everything. The only thing I didn't do on this layout is I didn't add any texture via like tissue paper or anything stuck down. The only thing that stuck down are my photos. So everything is in one layer. Now, because I've built the layers up, and you've got, I wanted a bit more of that writing coming through. I went over it a bit too heavy. Now, when you come back to your sheet, so you've let, these layers are so thin, they dry super quick, right? So you can just keep adding and adding and adding. What happens is your first stamp, it peeks through the light colors that you've put on. Then the next lot of colors go on top of that, and you just see bits and pieces poking through, and that is what creates the, I guess, the illusion of all the different layers and the texture. I'm just debating here. Now, stick with me. You've got to see the end result. I know you're going to think that I've gone absolutely troppo and I've lost the plot, but stick with me, okay? So I have pulled these circles, by the way. I'm using them as masks. I don't have any circular masks. So these were leftovers. I used them on a layout probably 6 months ago, and I was doing a cleanup, and see how it created like a little sort of flower-esque sort of look in the middle? And I'm using a really, really bright lime green. And that really, it's actually called yellow green, and it's from MONT. And it looks really fluoro on here, and it is really, really bright. But I wanted to mute a piece in the center so that my photos could pop a little bit more. Now, probably shouldn't have introduced a completely separate color. I did think about going around and just doing it in the pink, or I didn't want to do the black because I didn't want this layout to be super heavy. But it turned out, it looks, at the moment, it looks like I've just covered up all my hard work. But with a mixed media journal, as I say to you guys all the time, it is, I love that pull. Did you see that pull? Oh my goodness. It is like the best grunginess. It's so good. And the trick with a jelly plate, can I just tell you, less is more. So what I did then is I had way too much paint on there. I put a little bit extra when I'm going to do stamping like this. This is one of the stamps from Scrapbook Fantasies, and these were gifted to me, guys, so I'm letting you know in advance. They were gifted to me. I'm doing a review on them, and I've got to tell you, you get a beautiful crisp stamp with it, and it comes on an acrylic piece, so you don't have to find a stamping block or anything like that, but it takes up very, very little real estate in your craft room. So it's not like a massive wooden stamp on a wooden block. It's nice and small. Half a dozen of these mark making stamps will give you hours of fun to play with, fun to do different things. Like, it's just, I love it. Absolutely love it. Now, here's a technique I have not used, and it's kind of, I haven't used this. I'm flicking my paintbrush, so I'm flicking paint off. So it's essentially, it's a splatter, but when you use your toothbrush, you end up with a different kind of splatter, and it's, yeah, I like to use the toothbrush when I'm doing my art journaling, and that's the first time, actually, you know what, guys? I actually think that's the first time I've ever done that on a scrapbooking layout. I really cannot remember anything in the recent times that I have used the toothbrush for. So there you go. Now, stick with me. The end result is going to be revealed, and I do come in with some pen work, so don't go anywhere. This works out so well, and I absolutely adore this layout. Now, I am adding my photos to some craft fun. I've put a backing on them, so I've done a border, so they've got that nice border on them, and then it's the same color paint, and it was just one of the gel presses, the gel pulls that I did, and it allows the photos to separate. Now you can see that Taylor's jumper is pulling the green, the aquas forward, and I'm lost for words. I'm mesmerized watching this back. It is just so much fun, and I know not everybody has the money to buy distress oxides or distress oxide inks or anything in the distress line. These are a few paints. They will go forever. I use these things so much, it's not even funny. And I've used them a stack in my art journals, and they are still going. Like, yeah. So I wanted to go around this stamp's called Swoosh. I'm pretty sure that's what it's called. Let me have a look. It's still sitting on my desk. So one of the stamps is called Swoosh. I will have the numbers for them in the description in case you want to jump over and purchase any. The butterflies is literally called butterflies, and the flower is actually called Flower 1. So they may have more of them, but these things are so cool. They're really good. I quite like them. Such a simple idea, such a simple concept, and the 3 stamps, including the acrylic backing piece, takes up, I'm measuring it as we speak, takes up 2 centimeters in depth. So I'm sure 99% of us can find 2 centimeters by, what do we got? 2 centimeters by 1, 2, 3, 5, 4.5, 5 centimeters. They're really good, guys. Trust me. I love them. I will be purchasing some of those for sure. Now, I decided in true art journal-y style, I'm going to write my title. Now, yes, if you look at this, the title that I am using is actually a quote that I found. It's a quote by Anonymous, and I like to use the anonymous ones. If I ever use a quote that has someone's name attached to it, always, always, always credit the person, because I will tell you, these are not my words. This is a quote, but it is by Anonymous, and you know, if I could have given credit to whoever, then I would have. So I'm going through with my Posca paint pen, and in the black, and it is, what am I doing this with? This is my larger one. No, is it my smaller one? No, this is the larger one. This is the 0.9 to 1.3 millimeter bullet nib. I love these. I love these pens, guys. You know what? I have tried other ones, but the Posca paint pens, they are so reliable and they are really opaque, and I love them. I really, really do. Absolutely love them. So, like I said, for this layout, you don't need to use a jelly plate. If you don't have one of those, just use some packaging. Or, if not packaging, do what I've done. Use a couple of laminated pieces of cardstock or paper, and that way it's cost you next to nothing, and you've got a nice hard surface that you can actually clean and reuse. Because, I mean, we're all aware that obviously we're using supplies and there's a lot of plastic in the packaging and all that sort of thing, and trying to be environmentally friendly is not always going to work in the scrapbooking world, because you're purchasing a lot of things that are in plastic packaging, and there's just no way around that. So if I can now use my brain and use my jelly plate a little bit more, which I don't even know why I didn't think of that. And I wish I could think of who I saw do it. It was so smart. And I just went, why have I not thought of that before when you're using your paints? Anyway, so if you're still with me, wait until I do the drop shadow on this, because when I do, I don't use white. Spoiler alert, I don't use white, and it pops, and I absolutely love it. Remember, with your drop shadow lettering, if you want a closer, more in-depth way of me explaining how to do a drop shadow lettering, it's not a perfect science, but it's pretty good. It works for me. There you go. I'm coming in with my AQUA, and this looks really cool. If you want to know how to do it, I did do a tips and techniques video the other day, and if I can very quickly get to it, the drop shadow is number 25. So if you go to the tips and techniques videos, go to number 25. That's where I show you how to do a drop shadow. So, and it's a short, quick video just to show you how to do it. Now, as you can see, this is, I have to keep putting my hand over it because I don't want to put my hand in the paint. So the Posca paint pens do dry pretty quickly, but you know, old clunky fingers over here, I pretty much will stick my finger in anything wet paint wise, guaranteed. Now I am just about finished on this one, guys, so I want to take this opportunity to ask you all if you would consider subscribing, hitting the like button if you got value out of this video. Leave me a comment. Is this something that you would like to see, you know, once a week, once a fortnight, something like that? A big mixed media-y layout like this, where I take a white sheet of cardboard and a white sheet of cardstock and bring it all the way through the whole process to a layout like this. Let me know if that's something that you like. I am always open to suggestions. I create off the top of my head, so you know, each day is different, and that is why I scrap so differently every single day. The videos are different. So sometimes there is a cut file, sometimes there's paint, sometimes there's not. And this is it. This is what I do. So thank you so much, guys. I will be back tomorrow with another video. And I think, oh, that's right, I do go around. So my border, I did the black Posca paint pen, and then I came in with the AQUA as well. And it really sets the page off. That AQUA, the extra AQUA line, this is what I say, guys, 2 more steps, just 2 more steps. And then you go from, okay, to, wow, that pops. So thank you so much for watching. Here is all that grungy goodness all up close. See how you can see all the different layers. You can see the stenciling. You can see the scribbly writing. You can, there is something, I've got to work out what it's called. And you can see all that texture, but it's texture from the paint. It's not texture, it's not texture paste. It's none of that stuff. It is just all the layers, and it looks amazing. I think it looks amazing. Let me know what you think. Is this something you would consider giving a go? Is this something that you would like to see me do live? If that's something you would like, I'm more than happy to do that as well. So thank you so much for watching, and I will chat to you soon, guys. Bye for now.